Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for our second wrestling review in as many days. Third of the week, really, if you count the NXT recap, or sorry, the G1 recap. Let me rephrase that. Campo's back with me once again. And this time we're reviewing NXT's Great American Bash, which happened a week ago almost now at this point. NXT's been up and down. Sometimes they have really good shows and sometimes they have really bad shows. And I think this kind of fell somewhere in the middle.
Their week to week is god awful.
Yes.
So I find it so strange. But I mean, WWE's week to week isn't much better.
No. Like I said in the last video, that bloodline is taking up way too much TV time. Way too much TV time.
Yeah.
To the point where people are getting upset.
Okay. So you have Great American Bash.
Mm-hmm.
You have Bash at the Beach.
Yep.
You have Halloween Havoc.
Yep.
Why the fuck, sorry for swearing, is Stand and Deliver not Starrcade?
I don't know. They're bringing back their next pay-per-view is actually No Mercy.
Starrcade. That's your WrestleMania for NXT. There you go.
Yeah. Or do it like they used to do in WCW. Starrcade was at the end of the year in December. Have it as your December pay-per-view or have it coincide with the Rumble in January.
I'll take it.
All right. But we're going to start. We are going to go with the 8-person tag match, which was on the pre-show. You did watch the pre-show this time, so we already discussed that before we started recording.
Oh, I didn't know there was a match for the pre-show.
Because WWE and NXT never do pre-shows, so I don't understand why they did a pre-show.
So after I finished watching Great American Bash, I had to go back and watch the pre-show.
Yeah, it was Nathan Frazier, Yulisa Leon, Valentina Feroz, and Dragon Lee against the team of Metaphor, Noam Dar, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, and Oro Mensah.
Yeah, it was a match.
Yeah. What's his name? There's a couple guys. Dragon Lee is why is he in this match? Dragon Lee should be like pushed to the moon right now. He is probably one of the best guys you have in NXT. I get it right now. It's transitional and they're missing a lot of people and they're trying to find pieces to where they go. And spoiler for something that happens later on, but Dragon Lee most likely is going to beat Dominic for the North American Championship.
I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
He will, but not yet.
Okay.
So spoilers for something that happens later.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic of okay, I get WWE is in a contained universe where kayfabe is really strong. But for people who don't watch all wrestling, if you only watch WWE, Dragon Lee in the world is a very popular wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He, in the last 2 years, has been everywhere. He's done crazy matches with the best wrestlers in the best companies.
Ring of Honor, AEW, like he's been in all those.
Yeah,
AAA, like CML. Yeah.
Been in Japan. And now you're treating him like he's a up and coming, soon to be good wrestler that's not on the same level as Dominic Mysterio.
Right. Which he's leaps and bounds above Dominic Mysterio in terms of in-ring talent.
He's not arguably, he's better than Rey Mysterio was in his prime. He just doesn't have the legacy career that Rey Mysterio has.
Yeah. Agreed. And I feel he's being wasted on a pre-show.
And at the last event, you had him wrestling for the stupid trophy thing that nobody cares about anymore.
Nobody cared about.
Did anyone even care about that in NXT UK?
No. The Heritage Cup? I don't think so.
And how does it work? Because now they're saying that didn't Noam Dar win? And so how is the other guy the Heritage Cup champion?
I think Nathan Frazier won it, but Noam Dar just says he's still a champion. Kind of like what CM Punk's doing with the belt.
But I watched the match between Noam Dar and Dragon Lee for it. Was it Nathan Frazier? No, it was Noam Dar. No,
Nathan Frazier. Yeah, Noam Dar and Dragon Lee. Noam Dar ended up winning that, but then Frazier ended up beating Dar a few weeks later on
I
TV.
thought there was only one time where you can challenge for this a year, like a G1 tournament.
I don't know.
Okay, you blew my mind with that.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of like the KOPW.
Yeah, I guess it is.
It can get defended when they feel like it, but I mean, Noam Dar's okay. Oro Mensah, I should say. I mean, he's got something there. He just needs to be refined a little bit. And Nathan Frazier is another one. Like, he's very British, but he's not on the level of like a Tyler Bate,
That's fair.
right? And Dragon Lee ends up going over anyway. So, but with that, onto the main event, we have the family of Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo, your favorite, against two more of your favorites of Gallus and Wolfgang and Mark Coffee with Joe Coffee outside of the ring.
The Coffee Brothers,
The Coffee
the
brothers,
Tim Hortons
the
brothers.
Tim Hortons brothers. Yeah.
No, just no, just no, just no, and no, and no. And why are they so friggin' hellbent on putting over freaking Tony D'Angelo and
They're,
Stupid Boy?
yeah, I don't know. They're really in love with those guys.
Like Buster Rhymes. Oh my God, Buster Rhymes. Booker T never stops talking about him for the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. He went on and on and on with that. Like, I mean, it was, I don't know. It's like, are they really desperate? They don't really have tag teams right now either in NXT.
But they're not good.
No, they're not.
The
Not by any,
Gallus is better than they are.
but Gallus is still not that good. What happened to the Cowboy Bill and the other Cowboy Bill guys?
This just shows me how much you don't care about your tag team division.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you had a good division when you had Pretty Deadly in there. You call it Pretty Deadly to the main roster. And then Elton Prince gets hurt and now they're off TV for a while. But like, you took away, like, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's in the women's division, but you took away Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, and you're doing absolutely nothing with them on the main roster. I don't even see them on TV from week to week. Like, there's nothing going. I don't even know who the women's tag team champions are right now. Or no, they unified it, right? They're gone, right?
I don't even know.
Right. No, they did. Remember they lost to Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
title for title, and they unified the championships because NXT doesn't have women's tag team. Like their division was so thin.
I don't know.
Yeah, it,
WWE. It's like the multiverse.
it is. It is. Just whatever. The family goes over Tony D'Angelo. I know they really want to push this guy. He did have a pretty neat spot. He kind of did that arm drag off the top rope onto the floor, which, I mean, give him that. But I mean, he's not a bad wrestler. I don't think he's. I don't
But
think
the
he's going to be.
character is offensively bad and not offensive to anyone, just all people.
Yeah,
Like it's
not
one
just
of the
Italians.
worst characters ever in wrestling, ever,
Like it's
because
like
it's
let's
so
take Tony
extra.
Soprano and make him a wrestler.
No, this is literally what they did. They're like, oh, you see that guy that used to work here? Now he works in AEW that does the funny voice and his buddy has the flip up comb. Like, copy what they're doing, but make it stupider. That's how it
which
feels.
which is funny because they were already in NXT at one time too.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You could tell this is completely derivative of that. Like
Yeah,
100%. They were like, see what they're doing, do that. And he's like, okay.
yeah,
Because
but
it's
even
too much.
like like the Stax Lorenzo, he doesn't have a high ceiling at all. He's low card. If he wasn't attached to Tony D'Angelo, he probably would have been released already.
He definitely knows someone in WWE, and that's how
Yeah.
he's working there.
And D'Angelo, I don't see him like higher than a mid card. He's very much like Nunzio or like those type of like remember the FBI and those guys there. That he's very like Johnny the Bull or whatever. Like these are like very mid card guys that will never get past that. You know what I mean? Like I don't see D'Angelo ever going against someone like on a different level like Carmelo Hayes or Ilya Dragunov.
No,
Like and even Dijak is better, and he wasn't even on the show.
I like Dijak.
Yeah, that's what I said. Dijak is better, and he wasn't even
Yeah,
on
you
the show.
better said that. I hope you better said that.
Yeah, Dijak is good, but we got new champs. We got Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stax Lorenzo as your new tag champs. Other than that, it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't. It was there.
It exists.
It exists. Yeah. Up next, we went to a match that was surprisingly not bad, which was Roxanne Perez and Blair Davenport.
All right, you say things, I'm gonna blow my nose.
um, it was like But the thing is, with that match, though, because they called it a weapons wild match, which is basically a weapons match. It's a no DQ match. The fact that we've seen so many of these type of quote unquote violent matches over the past couple weeks. We've seen them in New Japan. We've seen the blood and guts at in AEW. These matches, when they're done this way in WWE, in terms of actually booking, it wasn't bad. But in terms of the actual violence of the match, because we've been so saturated with thumbtacks and glass and forks and chopsticks, it's like when you have a match like this, yeah, it's a garbage can. Yeah, it's a chair.
But WWE only has two weapons. It's a
Three.
or three. There's
the chair, the garbage
okay.
can, and the kendo stick.
I was gonna say a garbage can, a cookie sheet, and a kendo stick.
I haven't seen the cookie sheet in a while, but
well, the top of the garbage can,
the garbage lid, yeah.
Yeah, there are like most of the spot here was just like I'm gonna put a garbage can on you and then hit you with things.
Not as bad as the Toriano Shane Haste with the bucket taped on his head, but
I'd rather have that. At least it was a real bucket, not like a tin sheet.
Yeah, like, but that's the thing. Like, it's like you don't have anybody in your division, and this is where you're putting probably who you want to push as your top stars, and Perez and Davenport, and you have them in a what even led to like usually this is on a blow off, not your first match of the feud.
Davenport looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Perez is still like in my eyes not what they think she is. But at the same time, I think that's also why they took the title from her. Because they just wanted her to have her win and then get it off her. Because she's not bad, okay? I'm sound like I'm being really
no, but she's still not there. She's still young.
She's not
only
even
22.
Close.
She's only what, 22, 21?
Yeah,
like
something like that.
She's still got a long way to go.
It's Booker T's daughter, but he likes her ass.
Yeah. And he said that multiple times in the show. But I mean, Blair Davenport, I see like she's been off TV for a while. I think she was hurt, but I could see her doing a push soon. Like she's gonna get a push. Like I have a feeling she may totally obliterate Stratton on the next pay-per-view.
Maybe.
And just have like this monster heel of a women's champ.
Let's see how it goes.
But I mean, Perez, the thing is, Perez goes over, as they always do.
Of course.
Yeah. Next match was a really, really bad match. Gable Steveson against Baron Corbin.
Yeah, it was really bad.
It was so bad. The fact that the crowd was actually cheering for Baron Corbin.
I actually read about this after watching it from multiple big wrestling outlets. Mm-hmm. I believe even Sports Illustrated talked about it, and they were like, this is supposed to be the big breakout, like coming out for Gable Steveson. He's finally doing his wrestling shit.
Yeah.
And
they're pushing him like he's the next Kurt Angle, or
he had a mediocre match. The fans weren't behind him. There was no excitement at all. He was okay. He botched a few things, and then you had a double count out. That's how you try to introduce this character to everybody.
This should have, if you wanted to introduce Gable Steveson, you needed a 30-second squash match and absolutely obliterated Baron Corbin.
Yeah, and people would have loved it.
You know, have him do like the angle slam or like some sort of submission. Have him tap as soon as he gets in the ring, and that's it. End it. Like 30 seconds. You had a 6-minute match only to end in a double DQ, and it wasn't even an interesting match. Like it. If you want to put, like I said, even when they were trying to introduce, go back 20, 25 years, when they're introducing Mark Henry into the WWE, he was very limited into what he can do. Mark Henry did a slam and the match was over. Squash matches, that's all it was. Or he was paired with someone in a match who can help him along the way. Like, for example, he was paired with D'Lo for the longest time, whereas D'Lo could work in the ring. D'Lo had that. Say what you will about D'Lo, at least D'Lo had a character. D'Lo had a little bit of charisma with him. You know what I mean? That's where
D'Lo was a good wrestler.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's where Mark Henry defined that sexual chocolate character. And it's like there were a whole bunch of vignettes with him before, he was finally ready to move on to bigger and better things, right? Whereas people like, for example, like Dragon Lee, who's ready to go now, they still got to keep him in developmental. Whereas Dragon Lee could easily go on the main roster and have banger matches against Theory for the United States Championship. He can go join the LWO. He can go against Rey Mysterio as a heel. Like he can keep up with those guys. And Gable Stevens is not there, but they want to push this guy to the moon right now.
And the thing is, do you remember what was it at? What
Which one?
event was it at where they had like a whole vignette dedicated to like he's coming? It was at
Yes.
like, and we were like, who the hell is this guy? Like, I don't even know who
It
this
was the
guy is.
last,
I'm
I think
supposed
it
to be
was the
excited.
last NXT show, which was, I'll tell you that in a second. It was not Gold. It was a Gold Rush or was it the one before that?
I don't
Battleground.
know.
It was on Battleground. Like, I remember it was Battleground because they always like to do those vignettes that like take 20 minutes before the next match. But yeah, mediocre match, nothing special, nothing good.
No, it was bad. This was
Yeah.
bad.
This it's safe to say that this was the worst match of the night
Yeah, not like this is the worst match of this and SummerSlam put together.
put together. Yeah. Up next we had Dom Mysterio against Wesley and Mustafa Ali, triple threat for the NXT North America Championship. When Dom was not involved, these two in the ring were fantastic.
I think the whole match was good. But them having to help him constantly when he was in there with them made it slow down.
Yeah. That's what I said. When he was in the match,
Yeah.
it was a little slower, but when it was just Ali and Wesley, that like these two are veterans that know what they're doing, have been there for a while. They've had banger matches before, not with each other, but they had this match though, it was to protect Mysterio.
Yeah,
It
basically.
was to protect Mysterio and to protect Wesley a little bit too, because Ali took the pin, right? So there's still something going on. Wesley, I think he may be next in the main title picture and have it with those. There's going to be 3, 4 guys all in the main title picture. I think over the next little while, we're going to see a lot of hot shotting of that title, which I don't mind. Like have it go back and forth between a few people.
I'm okay with it.
They kind of need it. I feel like these long reigns are getting a little too
It's
like
WWE has this fetish right now with everyone breaking records. Like, oh, he's got to break this record.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
no, no.
yesterday we saw that Gunter, he's like 30 days away from beating the Honky Tonk Man's record. And he's like getting close. He's like less than a year away from beating the all-time record of 600 and something days. So, but I mean, that's true though. Like, but the thing is, we talked about it yesterday, and if you want, go back and watch yesterday's show. I talk about this in depth about like the booking and Roman Reigns, and it's something I'm a little sick of. But go back and watch yesterday's review of SummerSlam where I talk about that. But this is like the same idea. Like Dom won his belt. Give it up. Dom can win it again. Dom's still young. Dom's got a long future ahead of him. He doesn't need to hold on to the belt and like beat all the records like they're trying to do. I think they feel if you hot shot the belt, it adds less value to it.
Well, it does, but it if you hotshot it properly, it won't. Like New Japan has been very good at passing belts quickly.
Yeah. Even now, mind you, now they're a little bit in that because
They
the
don't have a
champions,
tag team.
well, yeah, they don't have a tag team. Um, Takahashi's been champ since Wrestle Kingdom. Sonata's been champ since no, Dominion. And Zach has been like almost a year now with the TV belt. The most recent champion is, other than the New Japan Strong with Eddie Kingston, is the
But
Open Never Open.
see, they do things like this
I don't even
G1
know who the
tournament.
Never Open 6-way champions are in New Japan.
It's still Okada and Doofy and Doofy.
Doofy and Doofus.
It should have been Okada, Goto, and Tanahashi.
Yes, but whatever. That's a story for another show. Yeah, I just don't think like same thing with Perez and Stevenson, I don't think Dom is there yet. Dom has a lot to live up to, especially with his name and being a second generation superstar. And not everybody can be like a Randy Orton or a Rock, where the next generation is better than the generation prior, or even someone like Cody, who is able to live up to his father's legacy.
Um, it's it's different too because Mysterio has had time in the spotlight. He's been to the big show.
Yeah.
He's wrestled really good wrestlers where these guys on NXT are just all wrestling each other, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
But where do you think the North American Championship? It's Dragon Lee, clearly. That's the next step
Yeah, that's what it
for
looks like.
okay. Um, next match. This match surprised me. I wasn't expecting much going into it, but it was Tiffany Stratton defending her championship against Thea Hall with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson on the outside. I
This
actually I enjoyed
th-
this match.
this is the first time that Stratton has actually impressed me. I was like, wow, okay, she can actually
Yeah,
do stuff.
but Thea
Thea
Hall
Hall was
too.
really bad in the beginning, like really bad, and
Yeah,
like towards the end of the match, she really started to pick it up.
yeah. But Thea Hale is really starting. She doesn't suffer from what a lot of the women suffer from. Like she's not a I'm gonna go stop, do my move, think about what I have to do. She just goes. She's just a ball of energy, and it's something that's refreshing in WWE right now that we don't have. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what kind of gravitates me towards that character is because it's something different, something we don't have. She's just like go, 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 go. She's like a cokehead, right? Just always on the go. And
Acceptable.
yeah, and it's like I really enjoyed the match, and the ending was a smart ending too. You protect Thea Hale, and the fact that technically she didn't lose because Andre Chase threw in the towel.
I just don't see how she's the one that's challenging for the women's title.
Right.
Like to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But it was still a really good match. This was one of the better match. The last three matches on the show were really good,
Yeah, it was
in my
a
opinion.
decent. It was a decent show.
Yeah. And Chase threw in the towel, so Thea Hale loses, but she doesn't technically lose. You know what I mean? So do you think this feud may be continuing, or do you think there's going to be something else in the works?
I think maybe there'll be like a TV match or something
Yeah.
because I can't see her getting another pay-per-view shot.
Yeah. I think I really do think too, the next in line is what's his name? What's her name?
Claire Davenport.
Blair Davenport. And just have her run roughshod over the entire division, just like destroying everybody.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So with that, we are going into our main event of the night: Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. This was a 25-minute banger. Like these two guys put on such a great show.
And um, well, we talked about it yesterday
Mm-hmm.
in kayfabe. We talked about it yesterday,
Right.
but this is like how you do a 25-minute match. Jey Uso
Properly.
versus Roman Reigns is not how you do a
Not how you
25
do a
minute match.
25-minute match.
Um,
That 25-minute match, I timed it. You'll see it on yesterday's show, was an hour and 10 minutes
oh yeah, there was 17 minutes from
of
when
intro.
the intro of the match, and then
Yeah.
the package was like another fucking 12 minutes.
Yeah, it was an hour and 10 minutes from the end of the women's match to the end of to the beginning of the Roman Reigns match. But you'll hear our thoughts about go back and watch. I'll have the link down. It'll be at the end of the video. Just click on the link. If you haven't watched the SummerSlam review, click on the link and go watch it. Because we don't want to go too in depth. But like you said, this is like you can tell in NXT now who's on one level and who's on another level. And Wes and Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov are on a completely different level than the rest of the roster right now.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go out of my way to say this, and I didn't think I would say this because I really like him, but I think Ilya Dragunov is on another different level than Carmelo Hayes.
And Carmelo
Like,
Hayes is good.
yeah, like Dragunov is like some stupid special shit. Like
Yeah.
they're like he's gonna win a championship soon.
When he turns on like whatever mode he calls it or whatever, when he turns that on and he just goes, that's it. It's like
I
laser
think,
focused, and
yeah,
he's got such a nice drop kick too.
I think that the reason he didn't win, spoilers,
Yeah.
Wait, are we on that match?
Yeah, we're talking about that match right now. Yeah. And Trick Williams obviously got involved.
Okay, Trick Williams sucks.
Yes. And
Once
I
again, I
think,
will repeat it. I hope you watch this because I just don't like you. Um, like I don't get it. I understand they're trying to tell a story now where they're separating them, but
yeah,
what's it going to be like when your whole wrestling career has been you're someone else's valet, and then when they move on and you get separated from them, you get fired and you
he's
never
the
work
next,
again?
he's the next Virgil
Yeah,
because
legitimately.
Virgil, like when he was with the $1 Million Man, fine. But when they tried to push him after as a babyface, it just didn't work. Nobody cared for Virgil.
Yeah,
And
they
same thing
still
when he
don't.
was in, even when he was in the NWO, go back and watch that tier list we did of all the NWO members. Virgil was right at the bottom
Yeah, rightfully so.
where he should
Um,
be.
Anywho, the reason I think Dragunov didn't win here is because they're planning on moving him to the main roster. So Carmelo's not going to the main roster. So they don't want him to lose the title, right?
Yeah.
That's why it makes
But
sense
where are
to
you
me
going to,
that
but the thing is, where are you going to put, like, you don't put him on SmackDown because
you have to put him with Imperium.
as part of it or as against them
Yeah, with them.
and just expand the faction.
Just expand the faction. It's because they look good right now, and it'll make them look better to have a good wrestler like him, and it'll make him have the popularity that they have, and
Yeah.
then you
Because they
can move him on
completely,
his own.
absolutely wasted McDonough. Like he jobbed out in that battle royal yesterday, like completely. Like everybody in there was a jobber. But yeah,
I don't
and
understand how guys like JD McDonough made the main roster, but Dragunov didn't.
But the thing is, McDonough's not bad. He just hadn't really had a chance to show what he could do yet.
He was always in every four-way match that we watched
Yeah.
because there was a bunch of them. He was the fourth best guy.
Well, you also had him in the match with Dragonov and
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate and Braun Breaker. But like I was saying, going back to my theory about what's going to happen next, I think until like maybe the rump January, February, that between Mania season, I think there's going to be a little back and forth. I think you're going to have the belt switch between Hayes, Wesley, Braun Breaker, and Dragonov.
Yeah.
And then, like, a month here, a month there, everybody holds it for like a month with someone like maybe in the end, Wesley coming out on top in the end. And then after Mania, when you bring up your roster guys, that's when you bring up Breaker, that's when you bring up Dragonov, that's when you bring up Carmelo.
Okay, I'll take it.
I don't know. That's my thought on it, at least.
I mean, there's always the chance that they do Survivor Series with War Games again, and
Yeah.
Imperium's one of the teams, and they need a member, and they're like, "Oh, we have somebody, don't worry." And then Dragunov comes
And
out.
Dragonov, and they like do a 4-on-4 type of, but who would they feud against? Drew, Sheamus, and his two
No,
lackeys?
no, 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 no. It can't be that. Can't be that. I don't know. Who cares? LWO. I want to watch good
Actually,
matches.
actually,
I don't want to
I wouldn't
watch.
mind that. I wouldn't mind Ray Santos and those guys against Imperium. That I wouldn't mind.
All right, see, I just fantasy booked for you.
Unless they do Judgment Day versus,
Okay, do Judgment Day against Imperium, a heels versus heels.
yeah. Or they just do Judgment Day versus Seth Rollins and a bunch of weirdos.
Das Gutenberg,
That's good.
Imperium. I hate that guy's voice. Oh
Oh,
my God, it drives me
Ludwig Kaiser.
nuts.
But yeah, I mean, so overall, I mean, it started off weak, but it ended up pretty good in the end. What would you score the show in overall?
I don't know, like a 7-3.
Yeah, I'm right up there with you. It wasn't a bad show. It started off weak, but I mean, the matches were fun. The matches were enjoyable, and the last three matches were great. So I'm right up there with you. I gave it a 7-2. So it
That's fair.
wasn't. I mean, go if you have the time and you want to watch some wrestling, just watch the last three matches. The last three matches are worth it. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Make sure you go back if you haven't already. We have our G1 Week 3 review. We have our SummerSlam review. We have another G1 coming out next week with the finals of the round robin. So make sure you are tuned to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have the bell notification turned on. It means nothing to you, but it means a lot to us. And you know when the next videos are dropping. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you all next time. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.